Welcome to these Sci-Fi guys. I'm your host Dave, and with me always is Chad and John. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It has been a few weeks since we've been able to do anything because we had a big hurricane come through and basically wipe us out. I mean, literally, it's our city is still recovering. There's still power lines down. There's still it's still a mess. You know, they're slowly cleaning it up, but it's going to take a while. But anyway, so we've all got internet again. John actually was out of the state for most of it. I had a lovely ISP provider, and I said, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. I got a different one. So thank you, Elon Musk. You're awesome. So I'll just leave it at that. And today we're going to be talking about Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Another one of those video game movies that we wanted to do, and just to see how it would work out. And I don't know, guys. What y'all think? Just I know Chad mentioned at the previous one that he hated Michael Cena. You still feel the same way?
Yeah, I still feel the same way.
I think I agree. He really annoyed me in this movie. I was just like, really? Oh, come on. So
yeah, he is a bit different than I remember. As a teenager, he was much funnier.
Yeah, as a younger, when I saw this younger, I would be like, oh, yeah, this is an awesome movie. Oh yeah, five lightsabers all the way. And we'll discuss that a little bit more later on.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and start. Okay, first question I have. All right, so Scott has to fight 7 evil X's, and as he's taking out each one, they turn to money. And what happens to them? You know, I mean, I just think of when you kill Captain America. You know, who's a big movie star. Somebody's going to be pretty mad. So you know what I'm saying. What really happens to the character? I mean, do they really get offed, or do they just go somewhere else and then think about what happened to their life?
I mean, I think dumb answer. I think they just are coins, and obviously, I mean, the band at the end enjoyed picking up old G's coins. So I mean, I definitely think it's a possibility that it's just free money every
Yeah.
time Scott kills someone. But it definitely seems very much a Scott thing. Like it doesn't necessarily seem like a anybody dies thing, if I remember correctly. It's specifically like if Scott's after him. But overall, it just seems like in your universe, yeah, they're just coins now. Congrats, you have money. You earned points, and it definitely seems like that's a thing specifically for Scott. But it looks like other people can take advantage of the money. So I mean, so be
Yeah.
it for them.
Yeah.
Chad?
I mean, yeah, dumbass, yeah, you get the money. They just spend the money, but I would think they just go to a different multiverse and just be somewhere else.
Almost a TVA experience then,
Yeah.
according to Chad. Yeah, I like that idea. I think that's more fun. So in universe, they just are coinage, but then they just show up somewhere else.
That's kind of how I think. I think in universe they become, like you said, coinage. I like that. I like the term coinage. But I think the next day they wake up in their own bed and they think about, hey, maybe I should have treated Ramon better, or this or that. You know, I don't know. I'm speculating here. This This movie, it looks a whole lot different when you're a 55-year-old compared to when the last time I watched it when I was, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s, you know. So it does take on a new meaning, and it's definitely different. Okay, let's go with my next question. Can they hear the narrator? Do you think Scott could hear the narrator, especially?
No, I don't think so. Now, it would have been neat if they would have put that way he can hear it, because when you see movies where, who are you? I'm the narrator. Keep going.
Okay.
See, I kind of almost disagree. However, I don't think he hears it out loud. I think it's almost like his conscience, just describing stuff, because he definitely feels like he has a flow in his mind of what's happening in the world. And it also seems like, at least in that final fight with the swords poking out of him, it seems like he had some idea of what they were actually doing. And that makes me believe he kind of heard the narrator in some capacity, but I don't necessarily think it was like, oh, a great voice from above. And if it is, maybe he just had enough time that he's gotten used to it over the years. But it definitely doesn't seem like he hears it in a great voice. Otherwise, it seems like everyone else probably also would. But to me, it seems like he at least hears it,
Yeah.
because he seems to have an idea of what's going on.
That's kind of how I thought. I thought that he could hear it, but nobody else could. Because excuse me. I mean, this whole story to me is Scott realizing the mistakes that he's made throughout his life and some ways to correct them. Sort of. We'll get into that more. Okay. Okay. So okay, we're Scott said he was what, 22?
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah,
moved
something
on
like
his
that.
own. I assume his parents are out of the are not there, but we're Knives' parents. She's 19, right? 18, 19. She's still in high school.
17.
17. Okay, 17. She's still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm sorry. No 22-year-old is going to be dating my 17-year-old daughter. It ain't going to happen. Where are the
No.
parents? I mean, there should have been some kind of fallout or
Well,
something,
well, you
Even
got to think.
even if he would have taken a sword to him, it would have been a better story.
Yeah. But the thing is, you look at this. He described how he met Knives. I met Knives and her mom on the bus.
Yeah, that's all. I think that's all he said, right?
That's all. Yeah, and then he Knives is her parents was cool with me dating their daughter. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in no realistic world, um, I think that there's a happy arrangement there. I mean, their parents would definitely be out for murder, and Dave, you said it. I think it would have been a much better story if they at least had to fight him. That would have checked out a lot more with reality. And I understand this movie is definitely not necessarily going for reality in any way, shape, or form, but I certainly think that that would have made a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm totally with you guys. Okay, since we're on Knives, let's go ahead and I'm going to transition into this next question. Okay, so what happens to her at the end of the movie? Does she just say, "Oh, okay, I can't have Scott. I'm okay. Let's go." You know. I know that there is a movie out there that has like 5 or 6 different endings. The one I watched did not. It just had the one ending. So, I don't know if y'all saw something different than I did, but if you didn't, then what? I mean, really, do you think Knives would just give up that easily and just be like, okay,
Well, you got to think Knives showed up to fight Ramon because she was jealous over her dating Michael Sierra. I don't know if Scott. Never mind.
Yeah.
Scott. And then all of a sudden at the end, all three of them was teaming up. That's just blows my mind. If Scott is fighting 7 X's of Ramon's, why can't Ramon fight Knives and do the same thing?
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
I also I don't really get the whole okay thing either, because it definitely seems like, I mean, she's been fighting this whole time for him the same way he's been fighting for Ramon. Like you said, Chad, it doesn't make sense that it's just all of a sudden, oh hey, we're gun ho, we're friends, and then she's just okay with him going off. And it seems like the whole point was his redemption arc. And if we're going for his redemption arc, it seems like that would mean him going back to girlfriend one just to not be a jerk again, instead of flip flopping everything on its head. But at the same time, they made it seem like that was part of the redemption arc. I don't know. It got real fuzzy there with all three of them.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's just look at the title cover again. Is Knives anywhere on the title cover?
No.
No, and they only show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they show 7.
The
7,
League
but-
of Evil Exes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't show the twins.
Yeah, they do.
Is that
Oh, do
one
they?
on the end?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Then where's the other one?
The
I mean, there was 2 of them, right?
yeah, the one on the end and one in between the blonde and the other the
Oh, the
light.
other blonde. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, there they are. Oh, all right. Yeah, they're on the ends. Okay.
They separated them. I'm like,
They separated the twins, you know.
The
I had
bigger
really
Travis
high hopes
Singer.
for this movie. I really did, because I was thinking, oh yeah. Oh, when you've got any movie that's got Captain America, it's got Captain Marvel, and it's got Superman. Oh man, it's going to be a great movie. Of course,
I was
they
gonna
didn't put
say
any of those
star-studded
characters.
cast, not a star-studded film.
No.
Like
Star-studded
not a star
cast,
film.
not a star-studded film. Exactly. Okay, I'm going to actually throw another bonus question out there. Okay, we've watched Ready Player One earlier this year, or did we do it last year? I don't remember.
last year I think. Yeah, but
Maybe it was last year. Okay, and then they also had a Extra Life, so to say, Extra Life. So, who did it better, Ready Player One or Scott Pilgrim? Chad, go.
Ready Player One.
Okay, you say Ready Player One. John.
I'm in full agreement. I think Ready Player One, mostly because Ready Player One, I feel like it was far more significant to the story, all the way from the coin flip being very subtle to all of a sudden meaning a whole lot when it comes down to using it. The fact that the whole world reset and him using it is what allows it to keep going. Overall, it just feels more meaningful. In Scott Pilgrim, it feels like they kind of just threw it in there, uh, and like, oh, okay, he has it now, kind of idea to me.
Mm.
I just feel like it was way more meaningful in Ready Player One and just overall better done.
Now, I'm the opposite, actually. I think Scott Pilgrim did it better, because typically when you get an extra life or something, you do have to start at the beginning of the level. You don't just go straight back to the boss. So, and I kind of liked how they did that.
Well,
They made you kind of go back, and then he realized, oh, I need to change a couple things, otherwise the same thing's going to happen again.
or maybe you had a checkpoint. Most games have checkpoints where you
Well,
go
it
back.
does. That's what I'm saying, is they went back to that checkpoint instead of the whole
So,
movie. I'm glad they didn't go all the way back to the beginning of the movie. That would have sucked.
well, here's this. I told you I don't like Michael Cera. That's Ready Player One. All right, it's just
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the way they did Ready Player One was good, but
yeah.
the actual instance of when because I sent it to you guys, the clip on YouTube, and it just kind of like, oh, hey, I'm the only one left, and then he just kind of keeps going, and then finishes off, finds the invisible room. This way, there was some changes that you were able to make, and I just kind of like that a little bit better.
I mean, I get the point you're making, but I
Yeah.
think honestly they both reflect, I feel like, the gaming culture of the times like the films were made. Because Scott Pilgrim versus the World came out in a time when it was very much still checkpoint based. But I feel like Ready Player One came around as things started to shift towards more like even thinking your battle royales where you have you revive a teammate, they just show right back up where they are.
Yeah.
That sort of idea. So I think I can definitely see your point in agreement on that. But I think they're also very reflective of just gaming culture at like the
Yeah.
times they were made, because gaming culture shifted greatly. Like people don't want to go back to a checkpoint. They're just like, let me restart at my boss and move on. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. The thing is, now you can save your spot. Like get to the boss, save there. That way, if you die, you can always go right back.
Yeah. So I mean, they have changed things quite a bit since I was around. I'm still around, but when I was playing games exclusively in my teens. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Okay, let's go to the next segment. Okay, besides the entire movie being a whole plot hole, is there anything that kind of jumped out at you guys? I only have one that just jumped out at me. You guys have anything that just jumped at you, like you're like, what world was that? That makes no sense.
To me, it's the powers to begin with. Um, I don't necessarily remember it being explained that that's a thing. It just kind of starts
Yeah.
showing up. And to me, that's in general. I'm like, I would have at least like some plot to say, hey, this is why this is happening and why these people are doing these things. Something. It didn't even have to be anything big. But I definitely think that's a plot hole in that. Oh, everyone just kind of has powers. Great. We're just accepting that at some point. Uh, to me, that's the biggest one that jumps out at me.
Well, this movie was based on a video game and an anime. And apparently the anime really is like a 6 or 7 story long, and it apparently explains that Scott is the best fighter in all of Canada, etc., etc., etc. And it's like, okay, but the movie didn't say any of that.
Yeah.
I would say the
What if-
movie definitely could have thrown in any single line to make that a thing.
Yeah.
What the thing is like, okay, he meets Ramon, started, all right, we're going to be a thing. So now you got to fight my 7 X's, League of X's. Don't give him a sheet of paper saying, hey, here's who you need to be, this is who you're going up against. Just showing up randomly.
Yeah. Again. Okay. All right. The only one I really saw was okay, Todd. How in the world did he have enough vegan power to punch a hole in the moon before he went to the vegan academy and got his powers? So, I mean, that's the only thing I know it's nitpicking, but that's the only thing that really kind of like stood out in my eyes. Like, really? Besides the how do they get their powers and how did, I'm sorry, Michael, Scott, Michael, whatever you want to call him. I mean, he was a little putz,
Uh,
he was. And how in the world did he learn all those fighting moves and all? I mean, was it playing like with knives and that kind of stuff? And that's how we learned how to fight. If that's how it was, then why didn't they kind of tell us that, or something? I don't know.
or to make it look more like that instead of just, oh, I'm going to random fight here.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's go to our next segment. Okay, how are we going to either fix or improve this movie? Let's start with me, I guess, because I'm the one that picked it, right? Isn't that how I've been doing it? Okay. Uh Scott Pilgrim is a douche. I'm sorry. He's horrible. He falls in love with Ramon. Ramon has no interest in him whatsoever. Yet he still follows her around like a little puppy dog. Okay, first thing they need to fix is make Ramon interested in him. Have some kind of real relationship there. All right. 2, as we mentioned earlier, explain how you got your powers. Scott. So, I mean that needs to happen because I don't understand that. And 3, I think he should have ended up with knives. I really do. Or even better. Okay, you want Scott. Let's say Scott and Ramon actually like each other. There's chemistry. Have Nega Scott come out and meet up with knives. Yeah, then it's the best of both worlds. Scott gets Ramon, Knives gets Scott. There you go. Now, one of you guys.
Yeah, that would be a great one.
You really want to know mine?
Recast Michael Cena. I know.
Yeah. Change him up. I mean,
I agree. I think his acting was horrible. I mean,
I get what he kind of acting he does, but this was not called for the go. Not called for the depressing type, poor, pitiful me look that you get from the Poland Dynamite. This is all from that. I'm like, you could just have somebody that's a little, oh, okay, I'm down and out. I got dumped. Now I'm fighting for a new girl. Let it be that. Start
and
upbeat.
again, it needs to have some kind of relationship there because
Yeah.
Ramon was not into him at all. So how did he get self-respect? That's what I want to know. Is how did he get the thing of self-respect or love or whatever? It's like, and she's just like, I'm sorry, I got to stay with him because he's just awesome. I don't know. John, go on. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep beating this dead
Yeah,
horse.
I mean, I'm in complete agreement with you guys. The other things I would add in the narrator a touch more, again, just to throw in some of those extra story elements we've already talked about. Outside of that, I think, honestly, uh, it's a minor fix, and it may be more of a personal fix and just a style choice. I would probably slow down some of the fights just a little bit. And I get that that's kind of going for the comic book style. Here's a panel, here's a panel, here's a panel. But in the movie, I think it was just a touch too fast. If they could have slowed that down, just like, I don't know, extra couple minutes per fight or something, not a whole lot, because I get the style choice they were going for. It was just a little too quick for me. And so, other than the story points you guys are coming up with, those are the couple things that I would fix for me at least.
Now, those of you out there in YouTube land, I'm looking at you. All right. Fill out in the comments. Tell us what you think. We're the ones that talk about all this stuff, but you tell us what you guys think. Tell us that, hey, I loved this movie. It was awesome, and I don't agree with your ratings, or yes, I loved your ratings, and I what you say, or whatever. Just put it down in the comments. Let us know. So, since I talked about ratings, we're gonna go do that now. Okay, we're gonna rate this movie in our own opinion. Of course, this is not as a group or anything. We're gonna rate this movie more than just who the actor was on a scale of 0 to 5 lightsabers. How much did you enjoy it? Would you watch it again, etc.? Things like that. So I'm gonna start with you, Chad. I know you don't like the actor. And you were at first, because we were texting back and forth, like, should we even do this? And then Chad is the one that's like, yeah, I want to do it.
So
which I was surprised about. So,
well, I watched it. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to sit there and watch something I'm not going to talk about. So here's this. Even with Sierra in there, I get. I don't like the actor as this way, but the thing is, I'll give it a 1 lightsaber because it went from a 0 to a 1. Just the fact of how the graphics, all the kind of, not the story, but the see all the special effects got it at a 1. That's about it.
okay, John.
I'm in agreement. Shockingly, went a little higher on this one. I'm a 1 for graphic effects. I'm full send on that. And then I just give it another lightsaber. So that's a total of 2, if we math correctly. I give it a 2 just because it is entertaining. There's some subtle jokes in there that get thrown in. Again, the comic book style and graphics as a whole, it's a 2 for me.
Okay, well, 1 for Chad and a 2 for John. Well, for me, I kind of have to piggyback on both of you guys. I like the visual effects. I love the fight scenes. I thought they were great. I thought the choice of actors was really good. Some of the, like I said, the plot points and the way they talked and all that, However, the music was fantastic. I got to give it a 3. Got to give it a 3 just for
Fair credit, man.
music. With the music was just, especially like when he was doing the bass battle and all that. Although that was dumb. I'm sorry. When he's going in, it's going D D D D. What he's playing, he's not playing a D. He's actually playing a B. So I'm like, I'm sorry, if you're gonna go ahead and make a movie, at least make sure it's the right key. I'm sorry. Especially if it's a music, all about music. But yeah, I'm giving it a 3. So Chad gave it a 1. John gave it a 2. Let's see, what is that? That's changed our ratings. But we'll talk about that here in a couple weeks. Overall, but we're gonna do some stuff. All right, what's next? Oh yeah. Okay, you guys can contact us. The easiest way to contact us is in the YouTube comments. Just put a comment down there. We mentioned it earlier. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, that you love the fantastic shirts that I wear, whatever. We're also on all the social media networks, Facebook, X, and Instagram. You can also email us, TheseSciFiGuys at gmail.com. Yeah, guys, really, that is the easiest way to do. We're still a I don't want to say struggling. We're still small, but we have a few followers. We love you guys that do follow and that listen. And that my spouse is not one of them. So, you know, I don't know if either of your spouses do, but mine, she's like, no, I have no, because she has nothing to do with science fiction. So
I say mine is a quasi listener. Like she'll listen in sometimes. She's probably one of those like 10-second listeners that you keep talking about. She's
yeah,
right in that range probably.
she's probably like, I'm surprised they don't listen to say, hey, what did they say about us?
Yeah.
But next time is I gotta pull it up. I don't have it right on here. Hold on a second. Y'all keep talking.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? There it is.
Talking.
Okay, there we go. For some reason I pulled up an old file because we had changed a lot of stuff. Actually, we have a very special guest next week. It's not one of those sci-fi guys. We love those guys. We're still planning on doing something else later on at the end of the year with those guys. No, we got a good friend of ours. All of us know him. His name is Shane. He's coming on here next week because he said, when you do this movie, I absolutely have to be there and do it. We ended up we were planning on doing the movie at this time anyway, so we just kept it in the schedule. We are doing it's not going to come up, is it? Thanks a lot, StreamYard. There it is. Pacific Rim. On my end, it was just sitting there going. So
yeah,
Pacific Rim. Great movie, fantastic. I love this movie.
Yeah.
At least I did a few years ago, so it'll be interesting to see it again and actually look at it with the way we're looking at movies now. But yeah, we're gonna have our friend Shane on here, so it'll be the four of us. I don't think I've got anything. You guys got any parting thoughts, Chad, John? No. Well, everyone, until next time.
Crash and burn.